Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video, we're reviewing a Mazda CX-90 plug-in hybrid. Before we get in this video, I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to the Orem Mazda for giving me some time with this car. I'm going to include a link to their website in the description down below so you can check out what they have currently. And then on a side note, if you want to save time and money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. Let's get into it. So powering this is a 2.5 liter 4-cylinder paired to a hybrid system and an 8-speed automatic transmission. The power rating is 323 horsepower and then 369 pound-feet of torque. The economy ratings, rather, 56 mpge, 25 mpg with no hybrid assist whatsoever, and 26 miles of electric driving range. Now, before we move forward with this review, I do want to mention, if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. So starting with the hood, I really like the design here with the 90. It's simplistic, right? You just have that flat section there and then kind of falls off on either side, but it's got a cool boxy look, and that continues with the headlight design. I mean, it's still kind of, you know, rounded off to an extent, but some of the elements in there are kind of more squared off. And you can see with the grille, it's got a very upright appearance that leads to that boxy look. And so putting it all together, let me know what you guys think about the front end design here on the 90. Now around the side here, our tire wheel setup is 275, 45, 21 on the front and over on the rear. And you guys can see here with the wheels, you got the silver mixed with the blacked out elements. I think that looks really sharp. And then you've got the fender flares here, your PHEV badge, and then more of that chrome trim along the side. And then you can see more at the windows. And then here is your full side view with the CX-90. Now taking a look at the key fob, we have the Mazda logo, and then we have our lock and unlock function, and then the opening for the hatch as well. And popping into the cargo space, you can see we've got a little outlet here in the back, which is pretty cool. Now with the third row folded up, you can see that it's not the most spacious, but you can fold the third row down, you can get more space. Again, pretty typical for an SUV in the segment. And then more charging ports. You got lots of charging action in the back. When you're all done, just press that button and that will lower the hatch right back down. I think the taillight design here, really cool looking. And then you guys can see the Sky Active PHEV badge and then all the rest of the badging here. And then we got parking sensors at the bottom. So putting it all together, let me know what you guys think about the looks here with the CX-90. Now popping inside, we've got a sunshade here in the back, and then I like this trim right here, and then soft touch down below. And look at the stitching that goes across. And speaking of stitching, you can see that continues on the seats, perforated all down the center portion. Legroom here in the back, solid. Got a little storage pocket. Got some vents here. You can see we've got our climate controls as well. And then headroom back here, it's also solid. And then in the very back, well, I don't know if it's gonna pop up on camera very well. You can see the seats there in the rear. They don't look as nice as the second row seats. And just like most SUVs in this segment, I'd reserve the third row for kids. Now taking a look at the front door panel, you can see soft touch here and then also down below, and look at the trim that goes across. And then you can see we've got blind spot monitoring with the mirrors, all of our window controls down here, and then our mirror adjustments as well. And then look at this, perforated all down the center portion, again, nice stitching, all of our power adjustments. Got our memory seat function here, that's for the hatch. You can see for the parking sensors, traction control, and then that's for the gas cap release. And then this is interesting here, soft touch on the dash, by the way. Now taking a look at the steering wheel, you can see soft touch all around, and then we do have paddle shifters there on the back. We got practical controls like our adaptive cruise control. We've got our phone controls, volume controls as well. And then you can see the regular stocks here on the back. Full digital gauge cluster, and notice that it shows us, you know, how much charge we have, for example, and also shows us the fuel as well. So hybrid information, which is obviously useful. And then we do have some drive modes. I like the whole sport animation, now it's all red. And notice how it actually changes the gauge cluster with the drive mode. So I think that that's a pretty cool feature too. And then in reverse, we just have a regular backup camera there with trajectory lens. Resolution's pretty solid. And then as for the rest of the infotainment system, not a touchscreen. So you have to control everything with a dial, just like other modern Mazdas. Again, it's something that definitely has a little bit of a learning curve, but once you get used to it, you get used to it. Soft touch with the dash, and then we got the heads-up display, and then you can see more soft touch down below. And then we've got our controls here for the climate system, dual zone here up front, heated seats as well. And I like this little area here for the charging pad. And then we've got that for the drive mode select, and then notice the shifter there as well. Hill descent control, and then nice trim piece. All of our controls here for the infotainment system, volume control, all of that. And then you got your parking brake and auto hold. And I've got the center console, pretty spacious, got some USBs. Nice padding on top. And then, yeah, pretty decent size with the glove box as well. And then this does have a big sunroof. Now it's kind of hard to see the window sticker because of the glare, but anyways, PHEV Premium, $56,275 is the total MSRP after all options on this particular one. And let's see how it drives. Let's talk about visibility before we set off. Here's visibility over the hood. There's a heads-up display as well. Both the mirrors, blind spot monitoring with them. And then, yeah, there's a little bit of a blind spot throughout the rear, but again, that's what blind spot monitoring is for. So I've decided to revisit the CX-90s because they released this super early. It's a 24 model year car, but they released it really early in the 23 model year. So I just thought I'd revisit because I've noticed that there's been kind of a resurgence in interest with the 90. I think a lot of people just didn't know that it existed. And so now it's like, hey, it exists. So let's talk about it. Pretty smooth. So one thing that's, nice about hybrid powertrains is you can, with a plug-in hybrid, right, even more so, you can do full electric driving. So then it's just smooth the acceleration just like in a fully electric car. And when you're just piddling around town, it's not like you need a massive amount of power, so it works. It works well. It's a good thing we got quite a bit of EV charge because we got like no gas. It's very smooth though. I will give it that. Suspension's comfortable. I've said this in the past. Mazda, they're trying to go for the luxury car thing. They are still in between, is what I would say. So I wouldn't call this a full-on luxury car from a driving experience perspective, but the interior quality is really top-notch, and the driving experience is it's up there. It's definitely up there. And so you're paying economy car prices for what is really close to a luxury car, and frankly nicer than some luxury cars. That's another way to put it. Now, aside from that, seat comfort's pretty good. The seats in the CX-90s are, Mazdas in general, a little bit more on the narrow side of things, but it's not bad by any means. And man, this Orem traffic, this is what I get. I woke up like 2 hours, this is completely unrelated. I woke up like 2 hours late today. And so now I get to deal with lots and lots of traffic. And let's get our acceleration here, well, mini acceleration. It's pretty dang quick. It is pretty dang quick. It's an impressive powertrain. I'd still say that I prefer the inline 6 when it comes to acceleration, but the utility of the plug-in hybrid is very appealing. So to cap things off, CX-90 plug-in hybrid. I love the fact that Mazda made sure that the plug-in hybrid's not more expensive than the standard CX-90, so I think that is, like, it's a little bit more expensive, but it's not like a huge price premium, right? If you get a loaded up CX-90 with the plug-in hybrid or with the turbocharged inline 6, they're not the exact same price, but they're pretty close in price. And then, yeah, I think it drives well. I think it has a nice interior. I think if you're looking for, I mean, again, it's kind of hard because there's not a lot of competition in this segment, but if you're looking for kind of like a luxury-like vehicle that is not at a luxury price, that's what this provides. The vehicle that I would say that this kind of competes against is the Volvo XC90 Recharge. And the reason why I would say that it competes against that is they're both plug-in hybrids and they're both doing the luxury thing. Now, Volvo is, I would say that's full-on luxury, quite a bit more expensive, right? But here's my comparison. So the XC90, literally just have to switch. It's so funny. You just have to switch the two letters. XC90 has about close to 40 miles of electric driving range. So it has a little bit more range. And then it's going to have, I wouldn't necessarily say the build quality is nicer, just the material use is nicer in the XC90, but the build quality is not any better. I'd say that the Mazda's build quality is just as good, if not better. So you're getting slightly nicer interior, and then more horsepower and torque, quite substantially more. So you do have that. And so I would see this as like, if you like because a lot of people I noticed like those Recharge models from Volvo. If you want the recharge experience at a lower price point, and you don't really care about having an insane amount of horsepower like those have, that's what this provides. This is basically a quote-unquote bargain recharge. Let me know what you think.